There have been certain circumstances where people have had an injury of the brain and then suddenly developed some completely new ability. It's a little bit like the savant phenomenon where somebody has just these unbelievable abilities in a given domain that are kind of unexplainable. The brain is a compilation of billions of nerve cells that work together to help us have our thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Almost everything is still mysterious about the brain. I mean, we understand the basics of how things work, but when it comes to our actual feelings, our thought, our emotions, our consciousness, we really don't have a good answer as to how the brain helps us to have those different experiences.
People who have suffered traumatic brain injuries have developed incredible skills such as perfect recall, an advanced understanding of mathematical concepts, and the instantaneous mastery of musical instruments. But is it possible that the human brain contains even more incredible abilities just waiting to be unlocked?
The untapped potentials of the brain are barely researched yet. Those researching creative people assume that most of the work that is done that is truly innovative, new, original, and valuable is done by the part of the brain we can't track, the part that is barely understood.
The difference between the average human and the prophets and the seers is not that the prophets and seers have a different DNA. It is simply that they allow their extrasensory perception and their abilities to be enhanced. And that is the reason why they receive messages from the beyond.
This speaks to the enormous hidden capacity of the brain, and even opens up questions of whether or not our brain capacity is in the brain itself, or maybe it's outside of the brain, and somehow we're able to tap into these other abilities outside the brain.
The human brain, unlike the brains of animals, contains a large neocortex, the region responsible for language, logical reasoning, and consciousness. Many believe it is also the seat of psychic abilities. In 2015, researchers in Germany determined that the human neocortex only developed after it was activated by a single gene.
Around 200,000 years ago, say neuroscientists, our neocortex was mysteriously switched on, and nobody knows how. Of course, ancient astronaut theory says it's extraterrestrials, that beings came from elsewhere and tweaked our DNA. This is very important because within the neocortex, we now know our precognitive abilities, psychic abilities.
If we're actually genetically engineered by extraterrestrials and they want us to have a certain kind of a brain, you have to wonder if ultimately what the goal is with extraterrestrials is to activate really all the humans on this planet so that we're using our brain power and our psychic abilities.
Perhaps what the extraterrestrials did when they fashioned our DNA and activated our neocortex was cosmic consciousness, cosmic awareness, psychic abilities that could potentially link us to extraterrestrials.